First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Just moments ago, the National Hurricane Center released the newest track for Hurricane Joaquin. Here's a satellite image of the Category 4 hurricane threatening the Bahamas and the eastern United States. The west coast of the nation also saw another threat this afternoon. Those are our top stories tonight. It's Thursday, October 1st. I'm James Torres.
And I'm Jenna Sands. Thanks for joining us. We'll get to that developing story in Oregon in just a moment. After the threat of an Atlantic hurricane for the East Coast, governors in Virginia and New Jersey today declared a state of emergency. Here's a live look from the Bahamas, where Hurricane Joaquin is causing flooding. Warnings are still in effect there, and as the hurricane is expected to move north through the islands tomorrow. UF forecaster Rebecca Kopelman joins us now in the Weather Center with a look at Joaquin. Rebecca?
Jenna and James, I've been keeping an eye on Joaquin, and the latest from the National Hurricane Center still shows that Joaquin is a Category 4 hurricane. And the biggest change that we've had with this latest advisory is a shift a little bit to the east with the track, but is still expected to remain a Category 4, could linger near the Bahamas for the next about 24 hours before it turns to the north and then continues to weaken just a bit. But now the track has shifted a bit further away from the east coast of the United States. There could still be some impacts of heavy rain, though, along the eastern seaboard over the next couple of days. The thing that will be steering Joaquin away from the state of Florida is a front, and that's what's triggering a few showers in the area right now closer to home. Much of the activity is occurring to the north and west of Gainesville and to the west of I-75. I'll track how long these storms could be sticking around and when we'll see some drier weather coming up. Back to you.
Rebecca, thank you. New tonight, police say a gunman is dead after a mass shooting at an Oregon community college. Just a few moments ago, the Oregon Attorney General announced 13 dead, and early reports say more than 20 have been injured in the shooting. The shooting happened just a couple hours ago on the campus of Umpqua Community College, and the local fire marshal says officers found multiple victims in different classrooms. Officers say the shooter was killed after exchanging gunfire with police officers. And this just in, Gainesville police officers are searching for the man who robbed a bank this afternoon. Officers got the call just before 4 o'clock from the Wells Fargo branch on Archer Road. They say the man walked up to the teller, implied he had a weapon, and got away with an undisclosed amount of cash. These surveillance videos show the man investigators say is responsible for the robbery. A helicopter is being used in the search, as well as officers and canines on the ground. Anyone with any information is asked to call 911. And an undercover sting led to drug charges against 5 people in Putnam County. Detectives say the 5 suspects bought crack cocaine several times at a mobile home off Sportsman Road. Deputies seized a few pills and 79 grams of marijuana when they later pulled over one of the suspects, 19-year-old Stephen Sawyer. The people who live in the home, Angela Sawyer and Kevin Branson, are charged with possessing cocaine and drug paraphernalia. Investigators say another suspect, Lonnie Brinson, is somehow involved. He's wanted for sale of cocaine. Anyone with a tip on his whereabouts is asked to call Crime Stoppers.
And the University of Florida has been full of celebrations this week, including Gatorade's 50th year anniversary. But today marks another monumentous day. The university just received its largest cash donation yet. Tanya Borsellino reports.
Drums, Gator chants, and orange and blue. Perfect for UF recognizing a major donor.
Gee whiz.
Herbert Wertheim is an optometrist, a NASA engineer known for inventing the UV coating on sunglasses. The UF alum is giving $50 million to jumpstart a $300 million campaign to boost UF's engineering programs.
One morning I woke up and I said, I think that's a good place to invest, a good return on investment. We're going to turn out great engineers.
The new Engineering Showcase building, a huge expansion towards the Rights Union, will be named after Wertheim.
I hope it just adds to our college, and that that more people want to be engineers, and that more people get to go to this building and learn from it. And so I just hope that it benefits the college.
This new grant is big for the Gator engineers and their careers, but the dean and faculty want to make sure it's investing in them as people as well.
He and his family are so tremendously invested in helping make the world a better place, and really want to give back and improve the world and improve the fate of humanity.
Wertheim is just as focused on creating a well-rounded student as a bright student.
We're going to prepare them to have the tools to be great thinkers, not just great doers, but great thinkers, and great humanitarians, and great leaders.
The classrooms and labs will support new faculty and programs in the college.
This day will be a story that we tell in the future as well to inspire future alumni. So it's historic.
In a parade of orange and blue, another Gator has left his mark. Tanya Borsellino, WUFT News.
Dean Abernathy hopes to start facility researches in the fall, break ground in the spring, and open the new building in March of 2018.
In St. Johns County, a University of Florida grad is recovering from a shark attack off Filano Beach. David Morrison was lying on a surfboard yesterday when he felt a tug on his foot. As soon as he realized it was a shark, he screamed for help and paddled to shore. Morrison needed 30 stitches. The first day of October means new laws take effect, and one of those 30 new laws in Florida deals with something called revenge porn. Posting explicit photos of your ex is now a misdemeanor for the first offense, a felony if you're caught again. Another law requires police to train more handling diabetics in emergency situations, and there's also now a formal ban on impersonating firefighters.
Tonight, businesses across the nation have a fast-approaching deadline to update their credit card reading technology.
That's right, and businesses are required to upgrade to the new technology that reads the chips embedded in their credit cards. Taylor Trichet joins us now in the studio. Taylor, what do you have to say about this?
Well, Jenna and James, some of the larger businesses like Target and Home Depot have already had these new card readers, but some local mom and pop shops are starting to feel a pressure to upgrade. A handful of local businesses like Mods and Simplify have yet to upgrade their card reading machines, but other local shops have already made the switch just in time for today's deadline.
Midnight is the deadline for businesses to convert to new machines that accept cards embedded with a computer chip. The Earth Pet's Natural Pet Market in Gainesville made the switch about a month ago. The manager calls it a very easy process.
So they came in and gave us new machines, they set it all up for us. And they, basically taught us everything, so it was really helpful.
Spending the money to upgrade the equipment is a small price to pay, rather than being liable for fraudulent charges.
We were really concerned with getting it done before today because today was the deadline.
It's an adjustment for businesses and for customers too.
But now I have people walking up and just kind of putting the card in. It's, some people aren't used to it yet, but for the majority, it's kind of caught on pretty quickly.
And because the magnetic chip holds a lot of personal information, holds previous transactions, stuff like that. The chip has a different number each time, so it's really hard to duplicate that and steal your card.
And the first thought that came to my mind was if you don't have a PIN, people can just keep reusing your card. But then as she just explained to me, when I swipe, they could get my information. They might be using my card, but they're not getting my information.
While fraud can still happen, credit cards with embedded chips are safer than those without a chip called an EMV.
A lot of card companies have been issuing new chip-enabled cards. If the store you visit has the new card reading system, the system would rather you insert the card than swipe it. All you need to do is insert your card at the bottom of the device, wait about 15 seconds, and then you're good to go.
It takes those extra seconds to read the card and its chip. A few extra seconds consumers may not be used to, but one that helps protect them.
It gives us enough time to, finish it out, actually have a one-on-one. If we are busy, it does give us a little bit more time to really connect with the customer rather than get them through, and get everything bagged up and get everything done correctly.
Ciao Bella Salon in downtown Gainesville is making the switch as well. Their new devices haven't arrived yet, but the staff is actually excited because of the safety and liability protection.
I think it'll definitely be a lot safer for fraud. We won't have to touch anything. We're not going to be responsible. It's totally up to the client for their information and everything.
Got it.
We got it. Right now, if you pay with your chip-embedded debit card, the purchase will be charged as credit, and soon there will be a way for individuals to pay as debit. You can find out more on WUFT.org.
All right, Taylor, thank you. Well, there's much more to come here on WUFT News First at 5.
Coming up, our health reporter will tell us how medical translators at UF Health Shands are being honored.
Are affecting parents in a way they may not have considered.
Tracking Hurricane Joaquin and a cold front. What both mean for your weekend forecast coming up after the break. Stay with us.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. Well, if you're looking at buying a home, what kind of sort of things are you looking for? For many people, it's living near a good school.
They might base that choice on a school's grades, but there could be a problem with that strategy these days. WUFT's Marie Ettinger joins us live from the newsroom. Marie, what's the issue with school hunting based on ratings?
James, Jenna, sending your child to a school with good ratings didn't used to be a bad idea, but with the issues with standardized tests this year, some people are saying school ratings could be inaccurate.
Parents want the best education possible for their children, so many look to school ratings. When moving and magnets and private options are not really an option, families can feel stuck.
They're zoned to a school that's a C or a D school, and they don't really want to go to that school, so they're trying to get in someplace else.
Schools are graded through assessment-based measures, broken up into student performance and their learning gains. After last year's delays in Iowa County, 8 different elementary schools went down a letter grade from 2013 to 2014.
A lot of parents have to start thinking about where to send their kids to kindergarten while they're still in preschool. Many parents are limited by their school zones, and not everyone's happy with the school that's picked out for them. Catch.
And many families pick out homes specifically because of the location.
By the time they get to us, they are typically coming and saying, if the school zone is important, they are saying, I would like to be in XYZ school zone, help me find a house near there.
But parents might not want to jump to conclusions based on grades alone.
What I tell the parents is, you need to go to the school, look around, observe some classes, because even in a mediocre school, there's going to be great teachers, and even in a great school, there's going to be mediocre teachers.
Official standardized test scores are expected to come out October 21st. Those scores will determine schools' grades for the upcoming year.
For many years, Alachua County rated as an A or B district, but in the transition from FCAT to FSA, the district has dropped to a C. Reporting from the newsroom, Marie Ettinger, WUFT News.
All right, Marie, thank you. Well, imagine traveling overseas. You suddenly need a doctor, and you can't find anyone who speaks English.
That happens here for people in the United States who don't speak the language as well. Health reporter Danielle Prince joins us with one solution.
Well, we all know how communication isn't always that great between doctors and patients. So when you have another language in there, imagine the difficulties that can arise. That's where translators come in, trained medical translators. You can find them now in some North Florida hospitals. And yesterday, UF Health was spreading the word to find more and to let patients know they're not alone. Each year, about 2,000 people walk through the doors of UF Health Shands Hospital with an extreme language barrier and no way of speaking one-on-one with their doctor.
The patient cannot express their symptoms or their worries, and many times they have anxiety and they have uncertainty.
That's where medical translators come in. At Shands from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. each day, 3 Spanish-speaking translators are on call. I didn't have anyone. I just basically had to find my own words and find someone who could speak Spanish. Roxanne Urrutia now thinks of herself as an advocate for Spanish-only patients. For some, translators are their last hope. Family members don't want to be responsible for it. They literally leave them there, and they don't really visit them. At the Shands event, recruiting for International Translation Day was just part of the mission. The hope was to grow the service and help more people obtain high-quality care.
People think, well, you know, I don't speak another language, so this doesn't affect me. But it does affect you because people travel. And when you travel, you could be in an emergency room in another country and no one could understand you. And that could happen, and that is a possibility. So people need to think twice about the importance of it and not discard it as something, oh, it doesn't affect me, because it.
Sometimes UF Health Shands also has a need to translate for people who only speak Arabic or only speak Mandarin. Those translators are not available in person for the personal touch, but they can connect by phone to translate the basics. Today's the day doctors across the country are switching to new coding system for medical billing. It's a massive overhaul, taking the current diagnostic system from 14,000 codes to nearly 70,000. Most offices have been planning for this for months. The Florida Health Department says mouth-to-mouth resuscitation during CPR may not be as necessary as once thought. So there's a new method being taught called hands-only CPR. Most county health departments offer training this week. Hands-only works in many circumstances, and there's concern people may be reluctant to give traditional CPR.
People can be somewhat reluctant to do. They've also found through medical studies that hands-only CPR keeps the blood flow going better than when you pause to do breaths.
The Heart Association says hands-only can be tried when you witness a teen or adult suddenly collapse. With kids or when you find someone who is already unconscious, you should try traditional CPR. British researchers are calling the advances of major achievement in curing age-related blindness. Surgeons at London's Moorfields Eye Hospital are using human stem cells to treat age-related macular degeneration, or AMD.
For AMD, it's a degenerative disease. There's a layer of cells that's critically lost or damaged. And if we're able to replace them and the function restores and the cells are stable long term, then we do have a sort of cure, because the place where the disease was doesn't exist anymore, and in its place is a healthy, new, young layer of cells.
Further trials are now underway. So I want to look ahead a little bit down the road. I wonder if there's going to be more people more willing to do CPR, if those numbers are going to go up.
I'm not sure, but I mean, if it was a situation of life or death, I don't think I would hesitate whether it was a hands-only resuscitation or mouth-to-mouth.
Yeah, I will say it's always interesting, because I always thought, what if someone had some allergies, if they were sick, and they did some mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and they would feel obligated if someone was suffering something. It's going to be interesting how they adapt to that. Absolutely. Danielle, thank you. Well, all eyes are on Hurricane Joaquin, but we're keeping an eye on some local weather as well.
We may be expecting some showers coming in tonight, and Rebecca is taking a look at how long they'll stick around. Rebecca?
There are already some showers out there to the west of I-75, and some of that activity could continue well into the evening hours, possibly past sunset tonight. And much of the activity now is just to the north and west of Gainesville, some activity on the west coast, and it's with the Gulf sea breeze trying to move inland. This is along a front, so later on tonight, as this front tries to move through, there could be some more activity bubbling up further south and could develop close to Gainesville and Ocala this evening. Could have a couple of heavier downpours, possibly some thunderstorms through 9-10 o'clock tonight, and then the activity will start to clear to the east, and by about 11 o'clock we'll start to dry out here across North Florida. And we've been talking about Hurricane Joaquin now, and this front that is moving through is actually going to be influence Joaquin over the next couple of days. It is still a Category 4 hurricane. The National Hurricane Center say it's a dangerous situation, and it will continue to move to the north and east over the next couple of days, and the cone has now shifted further to the east off of the eastern seaboard. But regardless, there could be some heavy rainfall over the next couple of days along the east coast. The models have shifted a bit further to the east, though, off of the coast of the United States, which could be some good news. But there are still some solutions that could occur. And there is still the possibility that the storm does move further to the west towards the east coast. We'll be watching it closely. You can get updates at ufweather.org/tropics. Now, the reason why Joaquin is getting steered away is because of this front that we've been talking about, and it's right on our doorstep. We still have some moisture overhead, but you can see this trough digging down, and it's going to help steer the storm further to the north. Joaquin will likely linger for the next 24 hours and then will be sent out to the north and possibly further to the east. For us here in North Florida, we'll be seeing some changes over the next 24 hours, and Joaquin could influence our weather as well. On Friday, the main concern is going to be along the Atlantic beaches. There could be some ocean swells, some rip current risk as well. Not a great weekend for the beach. And there could be a few coastal showers where most of the moisture is located. Inland areas, there could be a spotty, brief downpour. You can see this activity trying to bubble up in the afternoon, but it really doesn't stay together because we have drier air in place. And that's going to continue through this weekend as the front stays to our south. Drier air will be moving in. Joaquin stays to our east, and much of the moisture with it will stay to the east and to our north. Saturday will be largely dry. We have this drier air, less humid. It will be feeling much more comfortable. We will still likely have some clouds, though, in the area. Now, we're watching Sunday closely as there could be some moisture that wraps around Joaquin, and it's largely dependent on Joaquin's track over the next couple of days as to how much rainfall potential there is. And, of course, we will continue to watch this. Could bring some moisture back to the area for Sunday and portions of Monday, but will be largely dry over the next couple of days. As far as your game day forecast, if you're looking for it, well, on Saturday, high temperatures, only 78 degrees, really marking a change now, and your low temperatures falling to the 60s, mostly cloudy. You can get your game day forecast at ufweather.org/gameday. A slight chance for a few showers on Sunday. This could change depending on Joaquin, and then we're mostly dry Monday through Wednesday. Back to you.
Rebecca, thank you. Well, the Florida Gators are riding high at 4-0 in college football.
And they're focusing on how to continue improving. WUFT sports anchor Connor Ingalls joins us now.
And Jim McElwain's known for riding his quarterbacks to get the best out of them, and he's up to it again with Will Grier. We'll show you what he had to say about the QB. That and more in sports after the break. Before Will Grier's performance on Saturday, the last Florida quarterback to throw for more than 250 yards and 2 touchdowns as a freshman was Chris Leak in 2004. Leak went on to do some nice things as a Gator, like set the school record for passing yards and win a national title. So Grier's in some good company. Welcome back to sports. I'm Connor Ingalls. Still, even after Grier rallied the Gators from behind against Tennessee by tossing 2 fourth-quarter scores, head coach Jim McElwain is keeping his quarterback grounded as Florida heads into its biggest game of the season against the third-ranked Ole Miss Rebels. McElwain says Grier has plenty he needs to improve on.
We got one that played pretty good in some situations last week that deserves to go this week, but he knows he's got a lot to learn and a long ways to go as far as understanding how to play the position.
One thing Grier does need to work on is giving up the football. He's turned it over in each of Florida's 4 games this season with 3 interceptions and 1 fumble. Grier and the Gators welcome the Rebels to the Swamp Saturday at 7. It's been 4 years and 65 SEC matches since Florida volleyball lost in consecutive conference outings. Unfortunately for Mary Wise and the Gators, that streak was broken last night in Columbia, Missouri. To make a rough night even tougher to swallow, Florida led 2-0 on the Tigers before dropping the final 3 to lose. Sophomore Ramad Al-Hassan just wasn't herself last night. She had 9 kills, failing to reach double digits for the first time this season in a match that went more than 3 sets. Things don't get much easier coming up for the Gators. They stay out on the road where they'll face the 12-2 Arkansas Razorbacks on Sunday. Tonight in the NFL, it's a battle between the winless Ravens and the binless Steelers. The story will be how the prolific Pittsburgh offense handles the loss of quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben had the Pittsburgh O rolling near the top of the NFL in total offense and passing yards, but he went down with a knee injury last time out against the Rams, forcing Michael Vick into the starting quarterback role tonight. Vick says he's going to relish this moment since it may be his last.
It's a great opportunity for me because I don't know if I'm gonna have this opportunity ever again. Just a month ago I wasn't signed with the team. So now, I feel like I have a chance to, just go out and just play freely, go out and enjoy the game. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy being out there with my teammates.
Vick was 5 of 6 for 38 yards in relief last week. For Baltimore to get off the schneid, they'll need something out of their running game. Through 3 games, the Ravens have just 218 yards. That's their only rushing touchdown of the season, and it came in week 2 against the Raiders. Also, it's October now, so you know what that means. Pink jerseys and sideline apparel return tonight as the league promotes breast cancer awareness. And I got the memo today, don't worry, Mr. Goodell. Pink not the only thing that October brings in sports. Playoff baseball is just around the corner, with MLB teams heading into their final series of the regular season. A couple of birds claimed their division last night. The Toronto Blue Jays won the AL East for the first time in 22 years and taking down the Baltimore Orioles. Taking down, a nice way to put it, 15-2. Ouch. In another romp, the St. Louis Cardinals clinched the NL Central crown by beating Pittsburgh. That's the 3rd straight division title for the Redbirds. And guys, in breaking news in the NBA, Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr is out indefinitely now. He had a back surgery. He's taking a leave of absence. No word on if the reigning champs will start their season with their head coach or not.
Wow, that's extremely surprising. I never would have guessed. Is there anything they have planned?
No, the GM said they don't know who the interim is at the moment, so just stay tuned.
All right. Thanks, Connor. Well, the James Bond movies are widely known among different generations, so how much would you pay to live like 007?
Well, a hotel in South Florida is giving you your shot, but it comes with a pretty hefty price tag. $23,000. That's the magic number that would appear on your bill at the Brazilian Court Hotel in Palm Beach. That money buys you a 2-night stay in the hotel's largest suite, which includes some top-shelf liquor and fine dining. The hotel will also throw in a pair of Tom Ford cufflinks and a pair of Louboutin heels for his Bond girl. Not to mention your weekend includes a personal helicopter tour of Palm Beach and a sunset yacht cruise. Well, before we go, let's get one last check on the weather.
Here's Rebecca.
I'm keeping an eye closely on the trends over the next couple of hours tonight because we have some showers bubbling up and they could continue this evening. In fact, the National Weather Service now mentioning there could be flooding, even flash flooding possible, mainly in the counties to the north and west of Alachua over the next couple of hours as a front continues to move southward. So tonight there could be some more development further south near Gainesville and Ocala. Not going to rule out some activity and some heavier downpours, possibly some thunderstorms in the area through 9-10 o'clock tonight. Much of the activity will start to push to the east, though, through 10 o'clock this evening, and most areas dry by 11. You can track with us at ufweather.org/radar. As far as the rest of your weekend goes, we're keeping an eye on Hurricane Joaquin and the cold front that is moving through that's triggering those showers. It is going to bring some drier, nicer weather over the next couple of days and this weekend. Even though there will be some clouds, it'll be less humid outside, so you'll be able to enjoy it. We have your game day forecast at ufweather.org/gameday. There could be a few showers on Sunday, a low chance. We still have the cooler temperatures because of the drier air in place. The dry weather continues, though, and we have some clearer skies ahead for Monday and through Wednesday of next week. Back to you.
Rebecca, thank you, and thank you at home. We'll be back tomorrow at 5, but your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org.
And here on WUFT TV, BBC World News is up next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7 o'clock. Have a good night.